How do we give ourselves the purpose and direction to make, create, and be great, given the insurmountable insignificance, which is our lives? One of the biggest conundrums that we face every day in our significance and lack thereof. And what's the fucking point if it's all meaningless? We live. We die. What's the motivation to be great? What happens when we die? Our consciousness, our awareness is food for God. When we die, God eats our attention, our consciousness, and shouts, "Wow, that was delicious." But God might say, boring. Or might exclaim, like Gordon Ramsay, "This isn't pizza, this is a mistake." We don't want to be junk food, another bland Triscuit. So how do we become delicious and delectable delicacies for the divine's dinner table? We saute our soul into a divine dish by mastering the spices of life. We awaken through the process of integration. We evolve our consciousness as we integrate from disparate parts into a whole human. So how do we master the spices of life? Each spice is an emotion. The jar is the container for that emotion and represents regulation, and the labels are how we relate to each emotion. Our parents or caretakers built us a spice rack, and over time, filled our delicate little jars with various spices and helped us learn to label them. Some people's parents built them a multi-tier spice rack with cute little jars and labels that would make a Pinterest homemaker who just read Marie Kondo's The Life-Changing Magic of Tidying Up hit the save button. Some people have a drawer with mislabeled jars and even unlabeled baggies of spices. Others have piles of spices all mixed together. No jars, no rack. My cayenne spice jar that I thought was anger my entire life, I realized later was always mixed with shame, pity, and guilt. It took a beautiful moment of recognition and somatic work to understand the beauty of raw and pure anger and the power and energy it contains. As I clutched the mattress with my light pink, long stiletto nails in a crouching tiger stance, I could hear over and over in every single one of my cells, "I used to be fucking fierce." The pure anger flowed through me like medicine. No guilt, no shame, no pity. Pure, raw, spicy energy. And to think this whole time, I was using a spice blend mixed with cayenne, onion powder, and fenugreek instead of pure habanero. No wonder my anger dishes always turned out tasting bitter. Emotions drive our decisions, our attention span, and thereby our actions. The life we build for ourselves is intrinsically connected to our inner relationship to emotions. If we can build a vast spice rack that is properly labeled and jarred, we are ready to start cooking gourmet meals out of our life. Love is salt. You add it to every savory dish and sweet dish, and it melds all the flavors together while enhancing the base of the meal. When facing a challenge or trauma-triggering experience, we are flooded with negative emotions. By balancing out the dish with positive emotions, more sweet and dulcet spices, we no longer have to push the plate away or force ourselves to choke down that experience while holding our noses. That's what the Thought Pattern Release Project is. Everything I've learned about sorting, labeling, and jarring the spices of emotions. Learning to feel, to regulate these emotions, and channel them into our art, our lives, the most rewarding experience that I know of. And I built my spice gallery from a bunch of mislabeled baggies and spices, so I've had to learn a few things about this to be able to function in this world. Think of all the things you've dreamed of doing, but couldn't get yourself motivated to take action. There's an emotion in there holding you back. Think of the things you know you need to tackle in your life, but for the life of you, continue to avoid. There's emotions in there keeping you from facing those situations. Think of the things you do that feel good, but aren't necessarily good for you in the amounts you do them. There's emotions drawing you into those scenarios, likely trying to balance out the bitterness of the rest of your life. As humans, we all get stuck in our own worlds. This life is a blip, a mere grain of sand in all the sand that has ever existed, but smaller. Our lives are meaningless and insignificant in this strange way. We live, we die. So what's the fucking point? Maybe there is no point. But if there is no point, why not become the best, the greatest version of yourself possible? Karma is this strange cycle that drags all your ancestral emotions into your life. Everyone who came before you gave you the best spice rack that they had. And now you have to deal with whatever you were given. You have the opportunity to build a beautiful array of flavors so you can enjoy every experience of this beautiful life, full of flavor, full of zest, maybe fully sour some days and too sweet to tolerate on others. And as you get better and better at mastering this, you start creating dishes that we all get to enjoy. You practice and practice for that final dinner service, and you smile and breathe your last breath, knowing that God is about to close her eyes, savor your soul, and tear up at the magnificence you created. And if you're really lucky, one of the ones who truly figures it out, God just might ask you to join her at the table and become one of the judges of master life. So you don't have to stay in the cycle of birth and death and rebirth anymore if you can figure out how to make the best gourmet meal of your soul.